Welcome. If you just joined us, JJ and Gemma are still with me. They're having a whale of a time over the commercial break there. And now, how you can save £1,000 over the course of the year by slashing your bills. That's right. We're focusing on a different area of spending each day this week. On Tuesday, it was your energy bills. Yesterday, it was broadband, mobile phones and TV subscriptions. And today, Sue Hayward, consumer and personal finance journalist, is here to take a look at something that loads of us pay, but I reckon loads of us don't really get fully across the details before we dig in. We're going to be talking about home and car insurance. Now, I know that a lot of you are saying on social media, hang on, I didn't get all the details when watching the show live. Don't worry. We've put all these segments about energy bills and the mobile phone, broadband, everything we've discussed in the past 2 days on our YouTube channel. So if you go onto YouTube, search for Jeremy Vine on 5, you'll see those entire segments are on. You can watch them at your own pace, take down notes and follow the instructions to save yourself some money. Also, we're going to put today's section as well on YouTube, so you can watch it about an hour or so after we come off air. So don't worry, it's all there for you to have a look at. Plus, I really want to hear from you. Send us your video with your tips on how you've been saving money on your bills. Perhaps you followed one of the instructions that we gave you and you saved some money. Let us know. Get in touch. Film yourself. Send us a nice video. Tomorrow, we're going to give you advice on how to save money on your food shop as well. So if you've got any tips of your own, then make a video of what you've been doing to save money and send it to us. You can send it via direct message on the Jeremy Vine on 5 Facebook page. So film yourself, nice short video, put it on the direct message on the Jeremy Vine on 5 Facebook page, and we'll play it out on the show. So you're sharing knowledge for everybody else, helping all our viewers. So we're going to be talking about insurance policies for our cars and our houses. Sue, thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Lovely to be here.
Now, Sue, is it possible, do you think, that we can save £250 by making some small adjustments on our home and car insurance? Can we do it? Is it doable?
Absolutely. I've got lots of tips that you can do it. Some will save you a few pounds, some will save you over £100. So there's plenty of ways to do it. Really simple, really easy, not time consuming, anything like that at all.
Great stuff. Okay, I know a lot of people are sort of wary when it comes to insurance because it's sort of a big thing and you just sort of like, you know, but people get a little bit anxious, I think. I know I certainly do when it comes to insuring. So let's kick off with motor insurance.
That's right. The first tip I have with that is picking the right job. That can actually save you £20 and, in fact, a whole lot more, depending on the job that you do. Because, of course, while there are several factors that come into play when it comes to the cost of your car insurance, like the car you drive and whether you're a driver, where you live, of course, but equally what you do for a living plays a big part. For example, if you work in the local bank, you may well pay less than if you're a salesperson and you're sort of up and down the motorway. So what you can do is you've got to be accurate and you've got to be honest, but just tweaking your job title a little bit. For example, if you're a builder, you could pay an average of £560 a year for insurance. But if you put yourself down as a construction worker, that would actually cost you more, about £584. So sometimes just simple tweaks can make a big difference. That's it. You can't barefaced lie, of course, because that would be fraud. But just simple tweaks. I mean, another one I found, administration manager. Roughly £493 a year on insurance. But if you say you're an administration officer or a clerical officer, you could save up to £80 a year.
Gosh.
It's a big saving. And there's a really simple way to find this out. There's a job picker tool on moneysavingexpert.com.
Yes.
So you can put in your details and it will show you other options and how much you could pay.
That's kind of interesting. I know that us three have got a particular problem here because of the nature of our job, which is being in front of camera and presenting. Traditionally, we pay quite a lot of money for this. I'm not quite sure why, but I don't think can you change from being a presenter to being, I don't know, a journalist? But
I could say a writer.
You could, and also if you run a limited company, whereas sometimes in the media you may run a limited company or have a limited company, if you say you're a director of a limited company as well, sometimes that can actually bring down the price of insurance.
Okay, so having a look at
actual title.
Having a look at the title.
Yes.
Let's take a call from Robert in Cheshire who got in touch. Robert, welcome to the show. What would you like to say?
Oh, well, yesterday I did get in touch with you about
about broadband, and I made a fantastic saving with a company that you've never heard of, but I don't suppose you want to hear about that. It's about the insurance, isn't it?
Yeah. Tell us about the insurance stuff that you've been doing.
Well, what it was, I've been with the Halifax for years and years and years, and they've never knocked me any money off. I've never made a claim, and all they've done is put it up. So one day, I went into my bank, which is Santander. Now, the insurance that I do use was about £20 odd. Well, they're doing exactly the same insurance, like for like, for £6.
Wow. Okay. So actually switching is a huge thing. Robert, thank you. Sue, I think that was the next point we were going to make, the auto renew.
Yes.
That you've got in insurance. Have either of you...
I'm feeling really irritated because I literally had to sort my car insurance out in December and mine's gone up, and I thought I tried everything and I have switched, but it's gone up so much. And there's little things now I'm thinking, I couldn't...
But have either of you made that mistake of leaving that auto-renew ticked? Where no, you always switch. Always switch. So Sue, turning off auto renew can actually save you money.
It can, absolutely. £49 a year and potentially more. I mean, insurance companies love auto renew because, of course, once you're hooked in, they can just keep taking your money year after year until you finally turn around and say, please stop, I don't want to stay with you. It may seem on the outside that it's easier because you never forget to renew your insurance, but shopping around and switching can save you a lot more money because even if you don't make a claim, nothing changes. Your insurance, as you found, can still go up by an average of at least 20% a year, which is a huge amount on your annual bill.
And I think particularly this year, I don't know how you two found it as well, so insurance went up, I think, by an average of about 40% for everybody, not just for people with strange jobs, but for everybody around. JG, you've got a particular problem.
Yeah, so I'm a working class lad, so bear with me.
So he tells us.
So I tell you, I worked my whole life for my dream car, which was a Range Rover, bought it second-hand, got a very good deal on it, had it for 3 years, and the insurance went through the roof. And I couldn't afford to pay the insurance anymore, so I had to get rid of it. Why are Range Rovers now so expensive to insure?
They are incredibly expensive, and the main reason is they are seen as a sort of a luxury, desirable car, and they are more prone to thefts. And, of course, that means insurance companies are putting up the price because they're saying they've had to pay out on the claims.
And I went to lots of different companies, and some of them I was getting charged $5,000-6,000 a year for insurance.
What?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Did you like that car a lot?
That's why I sold it. I couldn't afford it anymore. Yeah.
I mean, what you can do is, obviously, as you found, you tried to shop around. Some companies won't actually insure them at all. Jaguar Land Rover have just started doing their own insurance from October last year. So you may be able to try that, or people could try that in order to get a discount. It's certainly not necessarily going to be cheap. And in fact, another way of trying, if you are having problems insuring a particular car, is to go to an insurance broker through the British Insurance Brokers Association, because they can often track down specialist insurers for whether it's classic cars, whether it's more luxurious cars, and sometimes specialist companies that you wouldn't find going through the mainstream.
I think that's true, because I think mostly you're dealing with sort of algorithms that put you in a bracket, and if you're an exceptional case, you've got a different car. But I found it's very often where you live. But if you live in London, you're going to pay a very high premium for anything that you want to insure, where you live, and also the job that you do. And it's interesting because I've been playing around with that job finder tool and noticed that people like stand-up comedians, sky-high insurance, ventriloquists, sky-high insurance.
It's because they're dummies.
Very good. A retired college lecturer is one of the cheapest professions.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
but I think it's such a scam in a way, because insurance is that cost that we all pay out and hope that it's a waste of money, right? Because you only cash it in if something bad happens.
Yeah,
and the idea that this year I'm like, nothing's happened last year at all, and and then you go, I'm giving you hundreds and hundreds more for what?
Now,
and of course you need it legally.
Yeah, you need it legally, and also I know it's going to be very easy to sit here and go, all these big insurance companies making a lot of money.
You're right.
It is, but having spoken to insurance companies, their costs have skyrocketed.
Their costs of what?
Parts for repairing cars, replacement cars, insurance costs, medical costs for people that they. But the thing is, we all pay into this pool.
But I thought the idea
to help people who have
claim then it's not justified.
But you're paying into this pool to help people who've had accidents. That's how insurance works.
I don't care about their accidents.
Okay. I've tried. Let's take one more, because you've got another tip, which has got to consider add-ons.
That's right. Reconsider the add-ons. This can save you £50 a year. Now, by add-ons, we mean things like breakdown cover, key protection insurance, personal accident cover. In a lot of cases, you may find you're already covered for these under other policies.
Right.
So, for example, if you have a package bank account, which is one of these bank accounts you pay £10, £15 for a month, you often get breakdown cover and travelling cover included within that as a benefit. So you may already have it. Also, key protection insurance, rather than buying it from your insurer, you may be covered for that on your home policy.
Yeah.
So it's worth checking that. And also, it's very easy, just tick all those boxes, but that's all going to cost you money. And you may find you can get separate insurance if you really, truly need it. So I would say go through with a fine-tooth comb, ditch some of those.
Chances are you're going to find that you get, for example, road cover might come with your bank account.
My children are both of the age they could learn to drive, and they're not, because we can't afford the insurance.
It's very expensive.
Huge,
Very
it's
expensive.
thousands of pounds off.
So motor insurance, we've got £20 by changing the job without lying, of course. You know,
Tweaking.
I'm a nun.
Tweaking. No, you're not. £20 there. We've got the next one that is, well, actually, I'm going to do that add up. The accurate job's £20. Then we've got auto renewing, that's £49. £50 as well for your add-ons. All together, that's a saving of £119 already. There we go. Ka-ching. Now, let's move on to, that's 119 we've saved already. Let's move on to your home insurance.
That's right. I would say one of the tips for this is haggle your way to a better deal. This can save you around £20 and, in fact, a whole lot more potentially. And I know haggling, people have this sense of, oh, it feels horribly awkward, I don't want to do this. But actually, you're probably haggling with someone on the end of a telephone. You're not having to go and see them. And if you can save money, it's your hard-earned cash, better off in your own pocket than somebody else's.
So what are your strategies for haggling when it comes to auto-renewing? Get in touch with them and say, look, I think I'm paying too much. Or do you actually need to do a little bit of homework and go, well, so-and-so is going to insure me for a lot less, so what are you prepared to offer?
Homework first, because then it gives you more power.
So I would say up the amounts that you...
they may check it out. Okay. Personally, I shop around and switch every year. I've never had anybody actually check it, but I think within the industry, they would know. If you were to say, I'm being charged £100 when they know the going rate is about 500, they might think there's something a bit dodgy here. I would say shop around, get, using price comparison sites if you want to, it's an easy way to do it, get comparative quotes comparing like-for-like policies, then go back to your existing insurer, ring them up. Often if you press the thinking of leaving us option, that gets you through to what I call the power people, who have the authority to give the biggest discounts, and then say, love to stay with you, not happy about the price, what can you do? And I think in a lot of cases, people will be amazed. They don't advertise the fact they give these discounts, but they will discount the policy to keep you as a customer. I've even had them undercut some of the competition to keep you. So it's worth doing it.
I had no idea these big companies you could haggle with them. It's not like you go down the market to the fruit store and it's like, I'll give you a quid for that. So you can just call up and be like, actually, I want a little bit less. Absolutely.
Wait till when you get your renewal quote through, the end of your policy, not midway. But when your renewal quote comes through and say, look, love to stay with you, love the service, you know, soft soap them a bit. And then say, but this is the reason, I just can't afford it. And see what they will do. They may well bring it down, especially if you can tell them.
I bet you two are very good at haggling.
Not bad.
I bet you're not bad.
Needs must, Alexis.
Yeah. I pity the fool that picks up the phone when Gemma Forte wants to haggle. Sue, I've heard also that the timing of this haggling is important. If you leave it to the last minute, 2-3 days before your renewal, the power is more in their court. Whereas if you do it 2-3 weeks in advance, then you might stand a better chance of them being more amenable to your haggling.
Ideally, when your renewal quote comes in, you should start shopping around. And ideally, you should be looking to buy insurance or do the haggle about 3 weeks before your policy is due.
I like
because, as you say,
it sounds like a dance as well.
That's it. And it is a bit of fun.
If you're doing it the day before, they've got you over a barrel, really, because they're saying, well, where else are you going to go?
And also, I think you can do all of this very politely.
Yes.
Yes, you don't have to get cross.
It's not about being like, you just actually, it's a good thing to be polite.
Passive aggression.
Passive aggressive.
Treat it as a game, I always think. A bit of fun.
We've got another tip that you have, which I think is the big tip, really, is it?
Yes, it's a big money
Switch
saver.
providers.
Switch provider, £120 a year, according to one website. Potentially, if you've never switched, you could save a whole lot more. Once again, it's waiting for that renewal quote from your existing insurer. Legally, they have to now tell you what you paid last year, so you don't have to go rummaging around in old credit card statements. You can see how much you paid, then start shopping around. And if you want to switch, it's often as easy as just a couple of clicks. They do check it's like for like. You don't want to end up with a cheap policy that doesn't give you the cover of the existing one that you've got.
OK, let's take a call from Katie in Cheshire, who's got in touch. Katie, good afternoon. What would you like to say?
Good afternoon. I would just like to say my home and contents and car are all insured with LV.
Yes.
Last year, my car was insured and it cost me £1,400 and something just for the car alone.
Wow. OK. Do you drive a fancy car, Katie?
No, I have a Vauxhall car,
Right.
3-door. It's 7 years old and it's not done 20,000 miles yet.
And did your insurer tell you why they increased your premium so much?
No, because at the time I had a lot of problems and I didn't question it. I just let it get renewed.
Yeah. That's the thing. You get, we're bombarded with so much stuff to have to cope with. And I was actually thinking, you almost need a day out of your week to sit and address all this stuff. And I get it, Katie. If you're like a bit overwhelmed on that day, you just go, oh, all right. But I bet you could probably get it cheaper.
I'm sure, absolutely. I mean, the thing is, in the old days, if you were loyal and stuck with the same company, it was very much a case very often that you would pay more over the years, Katie, because what happened was, new customers came along, were given all these deals at the expense of loyal customers. But under some new rules that came in January 2022 called GIPS, General Insurance Pricing Practices, it meant it should be a more level playing field for both new and existing customers. But there are still discrepancies in the insurance industry. So it still means that by shopping around, you may still be able to save a lot of money. So last year's deal may not be the best one, and certainly something like that. It just sounds like a huge amount of money to me, although we don't know all Katie's details.
Katie, I think that's the key. Shop around when you can next time. Katie, thank you. Just a quick question, Sue. If you feel that you are paying way too much, can you get out of your contract early when it comes to insurance, car insurance?
I would say, not necessarily get out of it early, but contact your insurer. I mean, if you do have a serious issue with your insurer, you can always contact the Financial Ombudsman Service, which is totally free. But go to your insurer first before you go to the Ombudsman. So
our home insurance savings, we've got the £20 there with your haggling and a whopping 120 if you look to switch provider. So that takes up to £140 saving. And so let's add it all together. We've saved £119 when it comes to the car insurance, plus the 140 for the home insurance. That gives us a grand total of £259. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So we did it.
yeah. We've made it.
So far, I think we're reaching, over the last 3 days, we've just about hitting the £800 mark. So tomorrow, if we save people another £200 by the end of the week, we'll have saved people £1,000 on their yearly bills with stuff that actually has been quite simple to follow, right?
Yeah.
So, retired professor, you said, retired lecturer.
Retired
College lecturer, yes.
You can pull that
Worth
off,
remembering.
We've got a message here from Belinda on Facebook who says she took advice. Oh, wonderful. She took advice yesterday and ditched Sky. She was paying £96 a month. Now got a Fire Stick and broadband with Vodafone. New monthly bill, £25 a month.
Wow.
Brilliant.
Fantastic.
So we've already saved someone a lot of money.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Belinda, thank you so much for getting in touch. And do get in touch if you've used any of the tips here and saved you money. Please let us know. Send us a little video. You can go onto the Jeremy Vine Facebook page on Facebook. Film yourself. Tell us what you did. Tell us how much money you saved. Also, if you've got any of your own tips, then film yourself. send it to us via Facebook. And remember, you can watch all Sue's great advice by going on to our YouTube channel. Just log on to our YouTube channel, Jeremy Vine on 5. On YouTube, we've got all our savings